Hello and welcome. I'm Ijoma Onyato. Tonight, National Human Rights Commission appeals to the presidential candidates to refrain from hate campaigns. President Jonathan meets heads of missions, says Boko Haram will be brought under control and cannot be a threat to elections. NBC raises 200 billion naira to finance broadcast sector. And Boko Haram attacks Chad, scores killed.
In our business news tonight, crude oil futures climb above $60 per barrel for the first time in 2015.
In sports news, Bolivia rescues Nigeria as NFF confirmed Thursday, March the 26th date for international friendly in Rio, Akwa Ibom State.
We begin with President Goodluck Jonathan's reassuring promise that Nigerian territories occupied by Boko Haram will be recovered from the insurgents in a matter of weeks. The president, who was speaking at a cocktail in honor of diplomats and high commissioners in Nigeria, commended the collaboration with other countries in the fight against terror. He said that terror will be contained so that the elections will be conducted peacefully in the country's northeast. On the adjustment in the election dates, President Jonathan explained that it will not in any way affect the inauguration of a new government.
Ask, will Nigeria wipe out Boko Haram within 6 weeks if in 6 years they were unable to do so? And I said, no. The security people are not saying that they must wipe out Boko Haram before elections could be conducted. But there are Boko Haram-related security issues, and there were other security issues that was noticed over the periods of campaign, which if we don't prepare properly and modify the security architecture we normally use for elections, the country may go into flames. So the adjustment is one, yes, Boko Haram issues are there, and definitely more states, for now about 3 states are in the enclave of Boko Haram where conducting elections may be difficult, but this period will give them the opportunity to clean up the 3 states. So when this is security issues, it was not limited to Boko Haram. And with the security people didn't say that we must wipe out Boko Haram before elections could be conducted, no. Even in 2011, when elections were conducted, we had Boko Haram. Elections were conducted. So we will surely conduct elections as scheduled. I promise you and communicate this to your homes that elections will be conducted as scheduled, and 29th of May there will be an inauguration of a president for this country.
Nigeria's President Dr. Goodluck Jonathan. Meanwhile, the National Human Rights Commission today warned politicians and their supporters against what it calls hate speech in the run-up to the 2015 general elections. The chairman of the NHRC, Professor Chidi Odinkalu, made this comment in Abuja at the launch of the pre-election report and advisory on violence in Nigeria's election. He advised applicants, particularly the presidential flag bearers, to embark on a new campaign pattern devoid of hatred and malice, saying that the situation where abuse has been adopted in campaigns is dangerous and unacceptable.
Excellency! It's been one campaign or the other, especially between the 2 top political parties in the country, in a bid to woo voters. The campaign doesn't stop there. On the social media, it is a war of words between the supporters of the 2 major candidates in the 2015 presidential elections. This scenario, according to the National Human Rights Commission, poses a danger to the country as the polls approach.
The reason we tell this story is that we wanted to have a happy a happy...
To this end, the National Human Rights Commission has launched a pre-election report and advisory to help change the narrative on the political scene. According to the Commission, its findings indicate that as much as 58 persons have been killed in the last 50 days, and many more might follow if things do not change.
There's been pre-election violence in at least 22 states. We've recorded incidents of pre-election violence in 22 states. From these 22 states, we have at least 58 people confirmed killed, not dead. They did not drop dead from heat stroke. They were either shot or macheted or burnt. 58. 50 days, 61 incidents, 10 complaints, 22 states, 58 people dead, thousands already injured.
Going forward, the Commission wants the two main actors in the polls to go beyond signing a peace accord to providing a public service announcement denouncing violence. They also want the politicians and their supporters to stop the hate message and canvass for votes without heating up the polity.
This is more than just a report, it's also an advisory. The reason is an advisory is to call on the political leaders to rise to the challenge. The National Human Rights Commission is offering to broker between the President and General Buhari. We want both of them jointly to speak to Nigeria. Jointly, not separately. Jointly. President demonstrating, General Buhari demonstrating that they are brothers and they believe in Nigeria that is bigger than either of them and either of their ambitions. Hear the voice of President Jonathan, hear the voice of General Buhari, together, saying, this country belongs to us all, we have a duty to keep it.
While it sought the help of Nigerians to drive its message home, the Commission promised to publicize the name of politicians involved in hate speeches and campaigns. Amaka Okafor, Channels Television News.
Staying with matters concerning the elections, now residents of the Federal Capital Territory have been asked to collect their permanent voters' cards before the March the 8th deadline. The National Commissioner of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Dr. Chrissy Moga, made the appeal after an inspection of some collection centres in the FCT. He was unhappy about the low turnout of residents, saying only 71% of PVCs have been collected.
With the extension of the collection of PVCs to the 18th of March, to the 8th of March, we appeal to all Nigerians who have not collected their PVCs to please go out and do so. We notice to some extent that with this extension, there is a shortfall of collection. From 1,000 cards per day in some area councils, it is dropping to about 200,000 cards per day. Let people not wait until the 6th or 7th of March. Then we have people crowding over all other the few polling wards. People going to agitate for cards. This is the time to go at our own leisure to collect them. The 8th may look far or may seem far, it is not far. Let's go and collect these cards, but because without them, we cannot vote.
The day we were to close, that is on the 31st, that day we had to rush, and it was on a weekend. That was the weekend that we had the largest number of people coming out, because during the weekends, the number dropped. During the weekends, we give just 100, maybe 150. But that very day that we were to close, there was so much rush that we gave about 400. But on Sunday, we gave less than 40. So the number is terribly not encouraging.
12 political parties and their candidates in Osun State have signed a peace pact to ensure violence-free elections. At the peace meeting held at the police headquarters in Osogbo, the state capital, the Assistant Inspector General of Police, Zone 11, comprising Oyo, Osun and Ondo states, Ikemefuna Okoye, says the law will not be lenient with anyone who violates the peace deal.
The general elections may still be weeks away, but the police command Zone 11 says it's not taking things for granted. Here at the Osun State Command Office, the AIG in charge of Ondo, Oyo and Osun is present. as well as members and leaders of 12 political parties.
We must have peace in this country. And this election that is coming must be peaceful. That's why everybody's involved. You can see not only the police that is here, other security agencies are around to make sure that the peace is in Nigeria.
One after the other, the parties pen their signature to a peace pact.
I'm seizing this opportunity to appeal to my numerous party members to remain peaceful and follow the dictates of the accord we signed this afternoon on their behalf. And I will pass the message down to every structure of the party to make sure that we are peaceful. I'm urging the police too to follow, and the DSS too, they should follow, because there's a lot on their hands too. They have to follow the rules.
For the security agencies to call the stakeholders, the political gladiators, the candidates for election, and the security personnel for them, and the electoral umpires, for all of us to be here to talk about peace shows that we are on the same page, and it's only when we have peace that you can have progress and you can make appreciable development.
The essence of this is for them to know the commitment that the election must be peaceful, free, credible, violence-free.
As security agencies and party leaders commit themselves to achieving violence-free polls, it is also expected that the security agencies will be on hand to protect the electorate during the forthcoming exercise.
In part 2, after the break, House of Representatives Committee on Power visits Lagos, inspects meter testing facilities. That's in a moment. Do join us again.